Have you ever caught yourself in the position where your thoughts are just circling in an endless loop? It just keeps going. It just keeps going. And you seem to not have control over it. Whether that's analyzing a situation, over analyzing a situation, whether that's replaying thoughts, dwelling upon things, replaying decisions, replaying situations, to the point where it actually stops you from taking action. It just makes you unproductive. Well, that's the enemy called overthinking. And overthinking was an Olympic sport. I'm sure you and I would have at least 3 gold medals. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about how we can catch and stop overthinking in its tracks and stop turning every decision into this full-blown mental debate. So grab your pen, grab your papers, grab your popcorn, grab your tea, and let's get right into it. So overthinking can present itself in different ways. It often involves second guessing, fear of making mistakes, worrying about the future, worrying about things that are beyond our control. That can look like analysis paralysis, where you're just over analyzing and then you just can't make a decision. It can present itself in the form of self-doubt. It can present itself in the form of replaying past mistakes. Or what if I did this? What could I have done there? What could I have done here, when clearly there's nothing else you could really do? It can look like mental exhaustion. It can look like difficulty sleeping because your mind can't shut down. All of this fall under the umbrella of overthinking. Now, I never really ever associated that with myself or my person up until time recently where I was invited to this outing at someone's house. And usually I would kind of plan ahead, but I forgot about this invite. And I had promised the person that I was going to go the next time because I'd already declined the first time. And this next time came and I didn't put in my calendar and it just caught me off guard. But I was like, I have to go through and come through for this person. I kind of knew I had things to do, but it wasn't like super, like too much of a priority. Anyway, I went to this gathering, I went to this event, and I've usually at an event or like if I'm somewhere, I'm either working, or if I'm at church, I'm working, or if I'm like at an event, I'm probably involved in some sort of the organization in one way or the other. Like my mind was just always going. So it's rare for me to be somewhere where I'm just like sitting unless I've like pre-planned it and I know like I planned for this moment, but I didn't plan for this moment. So I had to force myself to sit and I was there. I think it was a games night, discussion night, talking, and I couldn't really speak because my head was louder. Like mentally, I was just thinking. I was thinking about the next thing to do. I was thinking about the many things I had to do. But bear in mind, they didn't really matter at that point. I could really have just shut it out. But then I knew that, girl, you need to empty your mind. You need to stop overthinking. Like life is still going to move on if you just stop and pause for a second. I'm sure it's probably presented itself in different ways and I just didn't realize up until this moment. And I'm sure that could be the same for someone out there as well. But with some of these tips that I'm sharing today, they've helped me to be a bit more calmer mentally and actually empty my mind and actually be present in the moment and not look forward to the next thing when the present is still here. So let's get right into it. So the first one is schedule intentional pause times. In such a fast-paced world, in such a busy world, you might be working part-time, you might be schooling part-time or full-time or working full-time. Your life is just getting busier. So it's so important that we prioritize scheduling in intentional pause times. And if you don't create it, it's not going to happen because there's so many things that will take your time. If it's not work, it's school. If it's not somebody else, it's a situation uncalled for. If it's not that, it's social media. There's something always going to take your time. So it's very important that we schedule an intentional pause times. It could just be for a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Take time out to just like be still. And that's how I knew then that I hadn't given myself so many moments to be still. So that moment there, I accidentally was still. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And like, with still so much going through my head. So when we practice that regularly, consistently, you'd find that, firstly, you're looking forward to it. This could be a time when you wake up rather than jumping into the world and into the schedule of doing things, using your phone and all of that, taking that time to just, retract, be quiet, be still, or whether that's before bed, 10 minutes before bed, or whether that's taking a walk, or just whenever it's best fitted for you to just dedicate some time. You can start with 5 minutes and then build it up. But this intentional time to just pause, because life is not going to pause you. It's not going to stop for you until the end of your life, and there's nothing you can do then. But in this moment in time, we have the power to choose to intentionally pause, but it has to be scheduled. You have to have some sort of system for it so that it actually happens, because your 24 hours will just fly by. So that time that you have to just quieten down. Sometimes I just kind of just stare into the abyss. Just take away anything that is needing your attention and actually just be quiet with yourself and sit and just pause for a minute. Pause, and that would allow you to just kind of throw down your thoughts, empty your thoughts. Whether that's sitting still or journaling or writing in some sort of way, it just allows you to just like let go. It just allows you to just be still. And the more you're able to do that amidst the busy schedule, the more powerful it is, because you're basically saying and proving to yourself that you can take back control and control how your time goes, control how your day unfolds, control how what's coming into your thoughts, how what is entering and what is leaving. And always remember, with starting any habit, it's always best to try and pair it with another habit that you already do well. So if you're driving and you know you're always going to drive every day, then maybe add another 5 minutes to your drive, to just have 5 minutes before you leave the car to just like unwind. And that's without your phone. So look for a way to just schedule in intentional pause times, because that's how your mind would just rest for a little bit, which is, you have time to just sit with yourself for just a little bit. Number two is to refocus your thoughts. In those moments of overthinking, your thoughts is trying to take control by making you think about things that really don't matter in that moment in time, things that may seem bigger than it is. So trying to grab that power back from your mind and refocusing your thoughts on what matters in that moment, or truly based on a situation or decision that you're thinking, what else can you actually do? Because when you think about the thoughts, when you actually are intentional and you are aware of the thoughts that are coming to mind in that moment, you realize that there's actually not much you can do there. Like, you're probably thinking about something that's come and gone. You're probably thinking about something that's maybe in the future, and there's nothing much you can do about it. So refocusing your thoughts. Okay, yeah, I acknowledge that this thought is here. I acknowledge that, it's taking me, my mind is going in circles. But actually, let's bring it back to the middle, because there's nothing I can do about this now. And refocus your mind there. So allowing your mind to just seize it back from racing, seize it back from just going in speeds, because actually, there's nothing I could do about this. There's nothing I could do about this. So let's just drop it here. Because sometimes it seems that, oh, this is beyond my control. I'm doing so much. I'm thinking about this thing so much. But one way that I found that has worked for me is just reminding yourself that there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can do in this present time. So the best that I can do right now is to be present, because every other thing else, I can't do much about it. Which leads me to the third point, which is practicing being in the moment. Oh my goodness, practicing being in the moment. I remember one time someone reported me to my mentor saying that I use my phone a lot, and I actually do, because I'm always on my phone. I'm always having to deal with one person or the other. And I actually don't think I scroll or use social media a lot, because I do have like timings and stuff, and I barely have notifications. But you see that WhatsApp, I'm always talking to somebody. There's always something for me to say or something for me to do. So I'm always actually on my phone. And a couple of people call me up to, drop your phone. And I'm like, I need to reply to this person. I need to do this. I need to do that. So this went to a mentor I highly regard. And he was basically like, that thing can wait. Like, you can be present now. Because he was basically saying that, yes, I can understand that, there are important things. I'm not saying it's not important that you want to do on your phone. But the truth is, if you don't reply now, that person's not going to die. If you don't reply now, the thing will still get done, or will wait till you reply. Like, that sudden urge of, oh, I need to deal with this now, is actually not a real urgency, if that makes sense. And that's where, the companies and social media, that's how they work in terms of notification and bringing up things like that, because it's trying to drill your attention to something that actually does not need your attention in that time. So practicing being present in the moment is something that has helped me. Still a work in progress with that, but that can look like not just in the situations that it matters, but even in the little things, like at a traffic light. Not trying to keep going when it's a red light. Just stay there. It's red. There's nothing you can do. Or you're trying to zoom to work and there's a huge line of traffic. being more agitated or like, revving more will not change anything. So practice, look at it to practice being in the moment. Rather when you're speaking to somebody, just take everything else aside and just focus on them. When they're not shop, waiting on a queue, don't try and be finding the shortest queue unless you're really, really in a rush. Just stay there. Like practice just enjoying this moment that you have now. It's very difficult to do actually because we've all kind of accustomed our lives and our ways to just always be in a rush and do things quickly. But in the moments that you have, when you are, when you have the blessed opportunity to do what you do in whatever scenario that presents itself as, just bask in that because you never know. You might never get that back. Or when you get that back, it'll be presenting itself differently. So just bask and practice being in the present. When we're feeling that urge of, oh, I need to pick up my phone now, or I need to deal with this thing now, just think like actually what matters more now. Am I trying to shorten the present moment by grabbing onto the next thing versus actually basking in this moment and appreciating what it's bringing and the beauty that it's having, whether that's taking a walk, when you're taking a walk, when you're exercising, just stay. Just stay. One of the ways to practice grounding yourself in the present moment is journaling. And that brings me to the sponsor of this video, the Better Days Journal. It's a journal that I created when I was in the midst of all of this chaos mentally, when I realized that actually I need to slow down a little. I need to practice being present a bit more. I need a tool to help me just pull down my thoughts, a tool with the right prompt, with the right amount of space, to help me just, empty my mind, to help me take away the distractions, take away the noise, and actually just be still. So, really, this journal encompasses all the strategies and tips that we talked about today. So, allowing to just let go of weights, just be present, reflect, be grateful, and just put everything down on paper. So, click on the link somewhere on the screen to grab your copy now at damidays.com. The first one is reducing your exposure to things that stir up overthinking, whether that's a person, a friend, family. If you feel like the conversation is stirring you always to overthink, to overanalyze, to worry about the future based on the conversations you're having, then limit your time with that person, girl. Limit your time with that person, the bright man. Limit your time with that person. Anything that would try and stir up and intensify your overthinking, you want to reduce your exposure to that until you have a better grasp of stopping overthinking in its tracks. That includes things like social media as well, because obviously you're seeing different people, different lifestyles, different things, where you hope to be, with the news. There's so many different things that is in our peripheral that stir up overthinking. So being aware of those things, it might be different for different people. Some people social media doesn't touch them. Some people's words or the people around them don't bother them. Some people can watch the news and not feel it around, which I don't believe. But there's so many things different for different people. So figure out which one stirs up overthinking and restore your exposure to that thing so that your mind is just free. Hallelujah. And the final one is releasing control to God. Releasing control to God. The scripture says, "Be still and know that I am God." He says, "Come to me, all you who are heavy laden, heavy burdened, and I will give you rest." Rest lies in God, the creator of the universe. He created the heavens and the earth. He is the owner of it all. He is the one that knows the end from the beginning of it because he created the end, he created the beginning. He was there before we were here. He will be there after we're gone. So having full trust, just releasing onto him is really what I've learned through this whole tackling overthinking journey for me, because you're thinking about so many things. You're thinking about what has been, what will be, how your actions will, feed into that. But really, not one of your atom of worrying today can change the outcome of tomorrow. So personally, my peace lies in just releasing it to God and just saying, Lord, have your way. Take absolute control of this situation because I know, hands up, there's nothing I can do about this. I can do my best and just leave the rest. And even my best doesn't determine anything. Like he is the one in charge of my life. He's the author of our lives. He's the creator of our lives. So I allow him to do the best. And the beautiful thing about allowing him is that he has your best interest in mind. He has your best interest at heart. So I urge you, as I urge myself, to get to know and trust God more in this regard, to get to know and trust God more in general, because when the thoughts come, not if they come, because they will, and when your mind is racing, you have an avenue of just, releasing and jumping it beyond the other strategies we talked about. This is the key one. Okay, I'd love to know, based on everything that we've spoken about, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being I'm an intense overthinker and 5 being I don't overthink at all. Tell me, what scale of overthinking do you sit at? And comments great help if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe for more. If you're looking for more videos similar to this, then check out the video link somewhere on the screen and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao. Bye, guys.